Rain Squeeze. Orange juice.
Live from the Shipwreck Studios in sunny, rainy, not raining, but soggy Burbank, Illinois, the Not Podcast, after the 4th of July special. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
All right,
Hello.
First thing, check your phalanges and your digits. Everybody still got the phalanges and the digits?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep,
Nice.
and you got to masturbate before you do the 4th of July, just in case
Just
you
in
lose a
case.
hand.
Just in case it's the last one.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, this was actually the suckiest 4th of July I think I've ever had. It rained. Rain on the 4th of July is not a good thing.
No, it isn't.
No.
But I had a good the 5th of July.
But then you got to go back to work on the 6th of July.
Who?
I did. Yeah. So it's like you get into party mode. Okay, you had Friday off, but Friday it's like, okay, I got to go shopping. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get ready for the 4th of July. I got to get ready for the 4th of July. Boom, 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 boom. 4th of July comes and it rains, and you're like, oh, what the hell is going on? So, and then Sunday comes, and it's like, okay, Sunday is traditionally my day of rest, and I really don't like to do anything but like cut the grass or do the stuff around the house that you need to do. And so I couldn't cut the grass because the grass was soaked because we got like 8 feet of rain.
Right.
And so we barbecued, and that went really well. That was the first time I had the grill out this summer. Yay me. So, and it was just awesome. You know, it felt good to be cooking again on the flat top. I love my flat top. But, so that was all good. Had Mom over, and
Very nice.
yeah, it was just, it was very low-key, very, very, but then it's like, then you got to go back to work. And work is just, these storms are relentless. And it's like everybody's just tired. Everybody's just tired.
Yeah, it's getting tiresome very quickly.
Well, yeah, it gets depressing because it's like I'm talking to these people that insurance companies have now went to these like wind and hail deductibles. So you have a different deductible for this and a different deductible for that type of claim. And these deductibles are outrageous. They're like $4,000 and $5,000. And it sucks because people are like, well, I don't have $5,000 sitting around.
Right.
Well, no, nobody does. You're lucky if you do. And luckily this was rainwater, not sewer water. It wasn't a true sewer backup. It was rainwater. But it's still nasty. It comes through the same pipes, basically.
Right.
So it's still nasty. It's not, you can't go swimming in that water,
I wish somebody would have told me that when I was a kid.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah. I didn't drink it.
Yeah, well, don't
You
drink
drank
it.
from the fire hose.
It's not chocolate milk.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, but other than that, man, 4th of July was pretty cool. NASCAR back in Chicagoland, which I thought was going to be way worse than what it was because they were showing pictures of the track beforehand. And they, like, filled in with, like, tar, like all these splits that were in the track. Like, you could almost see the 4 lanes of the track all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
But then there was this whole strip that they, like, put this giant glue strip down, like a tar strip. And drivers were, like, going over it, and I was watching some of the videos on social, and they were saying, like, oh, the surface is really rough. Like, this is going to tear up some tires. But then you would go on this rough surface to this smooth as glass strip that they put down to fill in a crack. So racing was supposed to be pretty wild, but it wasn't all that wild. It was actually, it was typical Chicago, follow the leader. If you get out in clean air, you're going to have a hard time getting past. But it looked good. It was great to have racing back in Chicago.
The beginning of the race was kind of hectic. It was, like 3 cautions in like the first 20 laps or whatever?
Yeah. Well, that I have to say, I think comes from the fact that they're going from road courses. Now they go to an intermediate. And it's a totally different driving style. And it takes, these guys are professionals, but there is they're not used to it. So you step back into get rid of these damn road courses. Or at least most of them. You have like 2.
Yeah, and spread them out.
Yeah.
I don't need them back to back and,
These NASCAR cars, in my opinion, man, are not meant to go on road courses. They're too heavy. They're cumbersome. Does it look cool once a year? Yeah. Twice a year? Yeah. Anything more than that, you're boring me now.
Well, I agree with you with the dirt track. Now, a dirt track would be awesome. Oh my God.
Well, man, I'll tell you, I had a little chubby going when they had Bristol Dirt. I mean, that was that
cool.
was phenomenal.
But you know what though? I think if they're gonna do the dirt, do it at a dirt track.
Yes.
Don't do it like fill Bristol up with a bunch of fucking dirt and then expect to get it out and have another race in there. You know
Well, the
what I mean?
problem with that is there's not that many
I know they're not that
tracks
big.
that can go that NASCAR can actually run on.
Right.
Well, there is Eldora Speedway where they have the Eldora Million, and it's owned by Tony Stewart.
No, I get
It's
that,
like,
but
talk to Tony.
there's not that many that are big enough.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And it doesn't have to be big. It's, okay, so it doesn't hold
I
40,000
mean,
people.
they raced in the Coliseum. That thing wasn't fucking big at all.
Yeah.
But you still have to put people there.
Yeah. Well, Eldora holds a decent amount of people. I mean, not like 40,000. It's not like Chicagoland Speedway or Indy, but it'll hold a decent amount of people. And you know what? It's a TV race, man. It's a spectacle race, And put them on dirt, man. That's where they came from,
Yeah,
you know.
it's dirt and sand.
Yeah.
I'd
Next
like to
road
watch
course should be
Daytona
on-
on the sand.
Yep.
Yeah. Next road course should be on 294.
Yeah.
Let them go through all the construction.
Yeah,
Are
and
you
now
kidding?
they're teasing everybody like, should NASCAR come back to Chicago? Well, geez, you sold out. I think
Right.
I think you're riding a hot wave right now, so you probably should come back. You
Yeah.
know, because if you don't, you're going to lose the Chicago market. But I was curious. I really wanted to go. I just couldn't. It was that was a thing me and my dad did, and I was just not ready to go back to the track this year. Plus, in typical Chicagoland Speedway fashion, they didn't even offer us our seats back when they had the race, which I thought was really shitty. That every year we used to get dibs on our seats.
Right.
And they would contact you and they'd be like, hey, the race is coming back. You want your seats back? Same seats. We'll get them for you. And we had really good end seats in like section 103, 104 on the end, like 20 rows up. It was, to me, they were the perfect seat. I mean, couldn't ask for a nicer seat. That was exactly where I wanted to sit, Some people say, oh, it's too close. No, it's not too close. I like to be close. I'd be front row if I could,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But they never offered. They just, all of a sudden, Ticketmaster, here's your tickets. Well, I went on, and sure enough, my tickets were sold already,
I mean, they probably got rid of all those records. It's been so long.
But they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have, And I know when my dad was around, he was calling them like every 3 months and was like, hey, is the race coming back? What's the news? Hey, is the race coming? Well, they kind of like knew him on a first name basis, I think. Oh, it's Mario again.
They just have they have my caller ID. Oh, it's Mario. No, they're not coming back yet.
But and then they're talking that they might race the road course in Chicago. Man, the road course in Chicago is done. Okay, they ain't ever coming back to the road course in Chicago.
I
Mark
won't
my
watch
words.
it anyway.
It was, I watched it in the hospital with my dad last year. That was the last race we watched together, and it was kind of cool being from Chicago, but it was also kind of stupid. It was like, this is not F1. This is not Monaco.
I mean,
Chicago is not Monaco.
The first year was cool because it was new and novelty, whatever.
Yeah.
Plus it rained and there was a bunch of wrecks
And Chase Elliott won, which was cool. Did he? I think.
no,
Yeah, he won
not the first one.
I know he had to go to a backup car because they made a diecast.
It was SVG that won.
SVG won.
Yeah.
That was his first race. Right?
Is the one
Yeah.
guy in
That was
in
his
the
first
race in
race.
Chicago refers to him as Shane von Guggenheim? Some shit like that. They were like, you got to make T-shirts now. You got to hit that marketing opportunity. Shane von Guggenheim.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess those two don't like each other on the track, and then SVG will just leave it at that. He was like, oh, I didn't hit him on purpose. It's like, bullshit, you didn't hit him on purpose. That was so blatant it was ridiculous. Well, the other guy hit him on purpose. I think was it Austin Smith or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a nice little rivalry going. But yeah, it's and what's funny is then these road course guys, they don't do well on the oval tracks. But see, you got teams like Trackhouse now, which Trackhouse is a great operation. Don't get me wrong; they run a really good operation, but they also have the mission of bringing European drivers and world-class drivers, I think is the term they use, to bring world-class drivers into NASCAR. And that's where like Shane SVG comes from, Connor Zilch comes from, the other dude who does road course. They brought a lot of good talent in, except for that guy that got in a fight with Noah Gragson, which Noah Gragson should have just beat his ass. But I'm a Gregson fan, so yeah, I know I'm going to get some hate for that, but I'm a Gregson fan. So the way he treated Gregson, it's like, dude, you don't have to be a cocky prick. You'd have done that to the wrong guy, you would have got smacked. Back in the day, you do that to Ricky Rudd or Rusty Wallace.
I mean, I think we touched on that before, where it's like the guys that come in, they're there for a race. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're not going to see these guys probably again for another year, maybe,
Well,
if they get invited back.
I was kind of shocked. Adam Andretti came in. Now, I spent the day with Adam Andretti. Me and my dad, in an Indy Lights race, spent the entire day pretty much with Adam Andretti. He was a really cool dude. He was just really a nice guy. And he got into it with one of the Truck Series drivers, which was, and it was kind of like the same thing where he was telling the guy, fuck off, you don't know what you're talking about, get away from me, And it was almost like, that arrogance from these guys coming into the sport. You're coming into our sport, bud.
Right.
Don't be like that, And Adam Andretti, I don't know the whole story behind that because I'm an Andretti fan through and through. But it was very uncharacteristic of the Adam Andretti I knew from 10 years ago. He was a really laid-back, cool dude.
Well, people change, and
and
attitudes.
Dario came in, which Dario Franchitti, if you ever met Dario, he's a riot. These are fun guys usually. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know why they get so uptight and then they start fighting.
Well, because it's competitive.
Yeah, but it's competitive, but you don't have to be a jag.
Well, in Indy and open wheel, they usually are.
Not really. You don't see the Indy drivers going at it like how
Dude,
they do in
I
NASCAR.
watched a show with just the same team and they argued. So you can't tell me that they're not, jags to each other. Shit, they hated each other and they're on the same team.
Who was that?
Asked me to remember a name.
Fred.
But they were a Ferrari team.
Oh, that's F1. That's not IndyCar. That's F1.
Okay, but that's still their open wheel.
Those guys are very full of themselves. Yeah. Very full of themselves.
But even any open wheel, I feel that they're way different. It's not the same, atmosphere like, we're used to NASCAR, where you're a good old boy and then you're a jack off on the track.
See, my experience with the open wheel drivers was more like F1 is very intense because F1 is major sponsors. I mean, you don't have, Wheaties on the side of your car. You got Ferrari,
right.
multi-billion-dollar world-recognized manufacturer, McLaren. I think the Red Bull team is kind of like the odd man out there, because Red Bull obviously is a world-known brand, but they're not a McLaren, they're not a Ferrari, they're not a Mercedes. These are big-time F1 sponsors, and there's a level of arrogance, a level of cockiness, a level of this is the top motorsport in the world kind of attitude, where when these guys would come into IndyCar or kart, they were more, I want to say, not laid back, but they were more like just fun. Indy drivers and kart drivers were fun. Funny Bruno Giancora story. If you remember Bruno Giancora, he drove in the kart series. And it was right around this time of year. They were having the kart series in Cicero, and I was hanging out at the track, and I'm in the pits, and I'm just standing up against the garage having a cigarette, reading a brochure or something. And this little bald guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey. And I looked at him. I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, can I get a cigarette? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And I noticed, he had a uniform shirt on and everything. I'm like, oh, what team you with? He's like, Bruno Giancora. And I'm like, oh, Bruno. I'm like, he's a good driver. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, are you Bruno? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what'd you do to your head, man? He's like, oh, I'm from Brazil, and the Brazilian team shaved their head for the World Cup, so my whole team, we all shaved our head today. And
right.
So I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette with Bruno, and he was just the most laid-back, cool dude. And so he's like, hey, you want to see my car? And I'm like, yeah. So he took me in the garage and showed me the car and met his crew. And and then Dario comes in, who was just like very aloof, very, very aloof. He was a very laid-back guy. But the guy who was my idol in that series was Alex Zanardi. And Zanardi comes riding through on a bicycle. And he was just like, he was just crazy. I mean, he was just crazy funny, did not give a shit, just wanted to make people. He was a true entertainer on and off the track. And that's the guy who got his leg. He just passed away like a couple months ago. And he had both legs sheared off in an accident in a race in Germany. He was coming out of the pits and a car hit him and it took off his leg, one below the knee, one above the knee. And Jimmy Vassar was his teammate and went to the hospital with him and stayed at his bedside the whole time. Well, when he regained consciousness, Jimmy goes, hey, I'm here for you, whatever. And he goes, how bad was it? And he's like, it was pretty bad, Alex. So Zanardi lifts up the covers and looks down under the covers, looks at his legs, puts the covers back, looks at Jimmy Vassar, and he goes, I'm going to save a lot of money on shoes. That's the attitude that these guys had.
And
I
pants.
do
That
remember
was
that
like,
story.
You know,
Holy cow.
and he's like, okay, now how do I get back into a car with no legs? And that was like, he wasn't even worried about like, okay, I got to rehab or poor me, I lost both my legs. He was like, all right, how am I going to figure this out and get back in a car? And lo and behold, he was racing in the BMW series, had his car fitted, had artificial legs made that were, race ready approved or whatever. And then he also, which was cool, he was a Paralympic. He got a gold medal for Paralympics. I mean, that's a dude who did a lot with his life, with a lot of, here's a guy who has all the money in the world. He was an F1 driver. He was a very successful open-wheel driver. He had all the money he needed ever. But he chose to just keep digging and keep living. And that's what I'm trying to say with the IndyCar guys. It's like they really like to live. They were all about living in the moment. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned about him without the legs, but there was an episode on one of my favorite TV shows, and not going to say the name just in case something might happen with me. But they had a drifter that had no arms.
Jeez.
How do you drift a car without any arms?
Knee.
No, feet.
Wow.
He drifted
Wow.
his car, and I'm talking competitive drifting, not just, I'm going to take a chance. He was a competitive drifter,
Wow.
and he drifted the car, and that was his sport. That's what he did on a regular basis. Now, that takes some strong talent. I can't imagine just doing that, but my God.
Yeah, it's a riot, man. I mean, motorsports, I love racing. And this was actually the first race. Chicagoland was the first race. I missed the first part of it because I was at the store picking up stuff for grilling. But it was the first race that I actually sat through and watched, like, through the entirety to the finish. And since my dad passed. And so it was pretty cool. It was kind of like the last race I watched was with him, and the first race I watched was the race we used to go to. So it was kind of cool. But
I didn't even watch the race.
you didn't watch it?
I forgot about it.
It was actually pretty good.
I didn't even see any highlights of it.
Well, the Bass Pro Shop car won. It was Chase Briscoe in the Bass Pro car. And I thought that was pretty cool because Bass Pro, one of my favorite places to shop, one of my favorite stores of all time. Please make your little trucker hats a little bit bigger, please. Just a little bit, like Duluth Trading does. Find out who they use and use them, okay? Because I really want a Bass Pro Shop trucker hat, but they fit children. Or the fact that I have a rather large cranium. But, so.
I want to make a prototype of that thing I told you about.
There you go.
The extender for the hat.
I actually think they make those.
They probably do. They have
You
the
look at
thing in the front I was telling you about.
If you
Where
look
it
on
makes it tighter.
Amazon, I bet you they have it.
Yep. It's it's long and hard. I do have a couple of old Bass Pro hats that they used to. Bass Pro used to have this series for their camouflage hunting hats, and it was called the Big Outdoorsman series. So I have a couple of Big Outdoorsman baseball hats that I wear, But I want the Bass Pro trucker hat, the redneck trucker hat. I think that's just cool, But they did a beautiful job. That paint job on that car was very patriotic for the 250. It was crazy, And then
There
4th
was
of
a lot
July.
of cool paint jobs.
Oh yeah, they did really, really good. Well, Briscoe is running another red, white, and blue car, and it's the Freebird car. And I'm like, what is this all about? And it's a really cool looking car. It says Freebird on the hood. It's got a little eagle under it. And I'm like, are they doing like a tribute to Freebird, like the old Kevin Matthews days where people used to yell Freebird, at a concert? Always
Was that the one he drove?
No. He drove a Bass Pro Shop car at Chicagoland. This is coming up for one of the next road course races.
Oh.
And so it's Freebird sparkling or water. It's a water company.
I thought maybe it was for Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy because it doesn't say like sparkling water or mineral water or anything on the car. It just says Freebird.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty neat looking car.
It's one of those, if you know, you know.
Right. Which I guess, I don't know, marketing 101, it got me to look and research what it was.
There you go.
Yeah, so, yeah, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, they're doing some wicked paint jobs, man. NASCAR is finally starting to do some things correct again and do them right. Just knock it off with the 100 million paint jobs. It's do the special ones for special races, couple a year, Those are cool. But the Bass Pro, man, you guys did a great job. That car looked sharp. Junior Motorsports cars look sharp. Hendricks cars look sharp.
I don't know if it was. I think it was. I saw it on the email newsletter, and it had like the paint schemes for 4th of July weekend. But there was like 4 Cup cars and 4 Busch Series cars. And I think it was in the Busch Series. Somebody had Andy's Custard.
Nice.
And it was pretty freaking cool. It was like all pastel colored and shit, but
nice.
It was a cool paint job.
Yeah, they do. They're doing some good stuff. Busch Light had a good looking car too. They ran the Busch Light Lime car, then they had the Busch Light
Orange.
It was like orange, lime, lemon. It was like all the fruits, like the choice car, the Busch Light pick your flavor car.
Oh yeah, there was 3. It was
Chicago.
lemon,
orange, and lime, I think.
No, it was lemon, orange, and peach.
Okay, yeah.
I thought peach sounded terrible, but
that I had it when it came out. Was 2 years ago? The Busch Light Peach. It wasn't bad. Busch Light Apple was actually really good. But
I won't touch a bush to say. Well, yeah, I touch a bush, but not a Busch Light.
I was gonna say your month was last month.
Shut up, stupid.
Busch, I like it. I'm not a beer guy, but
Busch.
I like when they do the flavored stuff. I'm a beer snob. It's got to be. We're getting some static.
Yeah. We just ignore that.
Yep. But yeah, we're having. It was definitely some weird stuff, man. Good paint jobs, but it was a good weekend for NASCAR. I was pretty impressed. They did a nice job. Race looked good. Drivers seemed like they really liked the track. Lot of good response from the fans. I think it sold out.
Yep.
But in typical Joliet fashion, though, man, it was a clusterfuck with parking. The lot flooded. It turned to mud. Cars were getting stuck and had to get pulled out.
Nice.
There was a backup. The guy who has the Dale car must live close because he went to the race and he's on social media. If you look him up on Facebook, it's the Dale car, and he's got like an '86 Monte Carlo, totally decked out, Dale Earnhardt paint job. Really cool car. And he was like, "I'm stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. I'm going to miss the first part of the race." And then he does a picture of the flyover, and he's like in a cornfield, like waiting to still get in the track. I'm like, this is typical Joliet. If you don't get there when the gates open, you are screwed. And when you leave, you have to hang out for like 2 hours. Plan on hanging for 2 hours because you ain't getting out of that parking lot. They still don't have it down. Where you go to Brickyard to Indy, there's 5 times the amount of people in Indy, and you're out of there in 40 minutes. You're
Yeah, the time we went, though, we didn't have any
Yeah,
problem
we didn't
getting
get out that.
Well, yeah, you guys went when the track was half empty. I mean, there was nowhere near the crowd that used to be like for the first 5 years there. First 5, 6, 7 years there, it was a mess. It was just a mess. To the point where I was at one point, I was like, you know what, Dad, let's go to the truck race, the Busch race, and forget about the Cup race because it was miserable getting in and out of there. But and then all of a sudden, when the sport started to not be as popular, it was like, hey, this is kind of nice. I mean,
Well, that's why
we were
you gotta-
zipping in, zipping out,
That's why you got to make friends that someone that lives across the street or one of the businesses over there and parking their shit and just walk.
Yeah, they will not make friends with you. The first year they did, there was a guy. This is funny. When you would come down Chicago Street, and you would make the left turn to go to the track to make the right turn into the parking lot. Well, there were houses there This dude had a big, like, semi-flatbed with a giant pool on it, like a hot tub, and he was charging people $5 to come and sit and dip in the pool. And then he had porta-johns that he was charging like $5 to use the porta-john. I'm like, this guy had to make a fortune. And he would let you park on his lawn for a nominal fee. I don't know what the fee was, but
$1 million.
but he had like these bikini girls, like, you know, waving to you when you're driving by, like, come take a dip with us. It was like, yeah, that was kind of funny.
It was like his wife and his sisters.
Yeah, I don't know if they were paid professionals or not, but that was pretty cool. But then I was really happy to see, though, they were really showcasing the orange, the big orange going down the track.
Oh, yeah.
The videos. They were really. I was there live for that, and that was absolutely insane. That was one of the coolest racing moments ever.
Yeah, I wish I was there live for that. That would have been something. I did see it as it was happening,
Yep.
as it were. But I would have loved to have been in person watching. Boom, boom,
Yeah, it was like boing, boing, boing.
just going down the track
Yeah.
like the rest of them.
And Bowman got his little plaque statue, which I thought was kind of cool. Which, if you're going to close the track, why would you have even invested in a Bowman little statue thing for your championship village? You know, people were dropping off stuff at the Kyle statues.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, all in all, it looked like a good time, like a very, very good time. But yeah, it was cool. So racing is back in Chicago. So that was it. I mean, and then the 250. Thought that was a pretty mellow celebration on TV. I think Disney did a nice 250 thing. I think the stuff in Washington didn't get all the coverage it wanted that they wanted it to. And then you had the local fireworks, which I walked out of my house after the race and after the rain, and it was like a dense fog
Yeah,
throughout the entire neighborhood. And the sky was literally red with all the fireworks going off. I have never seen that amount of fireworks. I walked over to my mom's house. I'm like, Mom, you got to come out and see this. I mean, it was beautiful. There was a guy by me who made Richard's fireworks look like like amateur hour, man.
And
This dude had stuff going off for almost 2 hours.
and I'm sure that's what the party that he went to, Russ's house, was like. They put out big money for those fireworks.
Insane.
Oh, huge.
It took them like,
And it was computer choreographed.
yeah. Like
Really?
it wasn't hooked to the computer, but they had a spreadsheet, and it was like, this one goes off for this many minutes, this one goes off for this many minutes, and then they knew when to light which one, and they all had them on the street because he was on a dead-end street.
Oh, okay.
And then he knew he was in the middle of all of it, not Russ, his son, and his son-in-law, to-be son-in-law. In the middle of it all, letting it go off, and he's looking at his phone. He's got a timer in the spreadsheet, split screen, and he's like, okay, this one's got to go. Dude, that thing lasted like 11 minutes.
Wow, nice.
And that was just the end of the night.
Wow.
Everything else was just like, oh, we'll send off some of these mortars. Oh, we'll send off some of these cakes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, you couldn't even see the street after they were done.
Well, that was like by my house. And that's the funny thing about this year, which I'm really thoroughly confused about. No one from the one end of the block to the other on my area was lighting off any fireworks, but you would have swore to God that they were. That's how foggy it was. When it first started going off that afternoon, after the rain had slowed down, not even stopped yet, I looked out my front door, and the neighbors that live on Narragansett, it was a great big smoke ball just right around their house. It was huge, and I'm like, wow, they're blowing off some good stuff over there. I went back 45 minutes later, and that smoke ball was the entire neighborhood.
Yep.
It
That's
was
freedom,
just-
baby. Freedom.
It was phenomenal. And I didn't go outside to watch any fireworks because, I've seen fireworks, but just the sheer numbers that were out there was amazing. And what was also I was very, very pleased with was everything started to drop off like right around 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
we
it
still
was his
had,
house.
well,
Not
we
by
still
me.
had, well, we still had fireworks, but things were calming down.
Right.
It wasn't, as bad. Usually, in years past around here, 18 days beforehand, they're blowing off everything they own.
Right.
Then they go back and buy more.
Right.
Okay. This year, nobody was hardly even doing that. Okay.
I think everybody was saving the wad for the 250.
I get it, but it was so enjoyable. I didn't have to hear that.
Not by me. Yeah, my dog has another opinion on that. If I find you, you little prick, I'm gonna break your hands. This dude is every night, like right around the time I take Roxy out before she goes to bed, lights off an aerial bomb. Just once a night.
No,
About 11 o'clock, between 10:30 and 11. It's almost like clockwork. Like he hears my fucking door open and the dog walking out, and the dog's like, nope, it runs back in the house. Now she won't go to the bathroom, and she's up at 3 in the fucking morning. It's like, yeah, when I find this little dude, I swear to God, I'm going to break his hands. I'm going to take his lighter and put it where the sun don't shine. I'm like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Every night, just light your shit off on the 4th of July and be done with it. We don't need you a week after the 4th of July to keep lighting off one aerial bomb a night just to say, hey, I'm out here.
Yeah.
What is your point?
I mean, we have a few around here, but it's nothing like it used to be. Well,
Yeah.
at least last year. It was terrible last year. This year, most everybody is done. I have a feeling that one of these guys moved because a guy over here would blow one off, and this guy would blow 2 off, and he'd blow 3 off, and then they were going back and forth. Now this year it didn't happen at all like that, so I'm just kind of wondering if one of the people moved, but if so, God bless. And but yeah, I don't mind the fireworks. I love fireworks, but you can only see 58 years of them and know that they're all the same.
Well, I'm just wondering if people can anticipate and put a price on how much did R250 contribute to the Chinese economy?
$250 billion.
Yeah.
Is that the real number?
No.
Oh.
It's
got to be up there.
Probably won't be far off.
Just bought himself another nuke.
Yep.
It was funny because like when the rain started, it was still drizzling kinda, and guys were out there blowing like little bullshit off or whatever before the rain stopped. And then when it stopped, Mikey and Ryan started the whole thing off with like a smoke show. So they had like 2, 4, I think it was like 6 canisters, and it was like different colors, and it was just like they were like this big, probably this tall, and it was just like a bellow of colored smoke. And then they had like 3 cakes that when you lit them, they shot off up in the air, but it was like a stream of smoke, and then they would pop.
Wow.
It went on for a while, right? And the wind was blowing it this way slightly, but the guys on the other side of the street was like, oh, well, you guys fired this off. It's kind of like what you were saying. Oh, you guys fired this off? We're going to have one a little bigger. So it was like they wanted to start a war.
Nice.
It was me and one of Mikey's friends was sitting next to me, and we're watching it. And it was like going like this, real slow. And then the wind took it real nice and slow. It was like London. Right over the fence of the guy across the street and just settled right into that guy's yard.
Nice.
They couldn't possibly have saw shit for like a half hour.
Wow.
It was great. But the colors were like, it was like these buttons. They were like so bright.
That's cool.
It's not like normal smoke bombs.
That's cool. Where'd they get that from?
Oh, that was their neon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it neon.
Yeah. I have no idea where they got it from.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, they got some nice stuff, trippy stuff now. But yeah, it was a good 4th. Other than that, it was pretty good 4th of July. But yeah, that's really about it.
Well,
now we got current world events. I guess did you hear Iran said that they want Trump's head? I guess they're burying Khomeini finally. He's got to be a little ripe. Yeah,
a little thinner anyway.
They're parading him around, and down in the Middle East, he's probably beef jerky by now. But I guess they were parading him around, and people got these signs, "Kill Trump," and one of the Iranian government people was running his mouth saying, "We know he's in Turkey. We should send missiles and drones and kill him in his sleep," and blah, blah, blah. It's like, why are we negotiating with them?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, why are we even negotiating with them when their leadership is going to act like that? And our leadership acts pretty childish and vile too, but now you have two children now fighting in the playground. And it's like, in the meantime, gas prices are skyrocketing again. It's like, what a shit show. It's just an unending shit show.
All over.
Yeah.
Makes you just want to go off the grid.
Yeah.
I might shave and go off the grid.
Why would you shave to go off the grid?
Oh, never mind. Got that backwards. Maybe I won't shave and go off the grid.
There you go. There you go.
Then I'll be a hairy beast.
There you go.
A motherfucking Bigfoot, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot. Hide and seek champion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I got, man. How much time we got?
We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
We've only got a half hour in, and you're already done.
Are we 30 minutes in?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we covered a lot of topics. We covered NASCAR, 4th of July, fireworks,
No.
Iran.
Well, that wasn't much to cover.
No.
Yeah. Well,
That took all of 30 seconds.
yeah. Current events.
Yeah. Not very current. Well, I mean, you guys had a great 4th. I had a great 5th. Visited with family I haven't seen in years. Found out that one of my cousins actually moved from California to Wisconsin. So now I
Nice.
have an excuse to go to Wisconsin even more.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so, that came out really nice. And
Were they escaping California taxes?
no, they're escaping California, period. Everything in California. The expense. The expense. I guess it's too hard for a young family today to be able to have a family and live in California. So what they're doing, everyone is packing up and moving to Beverly. No, they're moving out of Beverly and going elsewhere. If you move into Illinois, you got a problem. But moving to Wisconsin,
in California.
yeah. But moving to Wisconsin, I guess, is a big thing that's going on now. Their whole family, everybody, and my one cousin's family, his stepdaughter, and that whole family decided to move. And that guy, her husband, has a job that's based in California, but they're allowing him to work remotely. So,
Wow. Good deal.
yeah, I mean, for him, that's great. That's an awesome thing. Not everybody will do that, but I mean, to be able to support your family, you have to move out of the state that you probably were born and raised in, and that's the shame of it for me, because I have every intention of leaving this miserable state. The fat ass governor that's thinking he's doing great, he's doing nothing but ruining everything.
Well, he's not fat no more.
Oh, okay. Well, the thin-ass governor that thinks he's
pockets
fucking
are.
doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? What really bothers me about him is every time he has a campaign ad on social media, he starts out talking about Trump. It's all about Trump. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. Okay, Trump affects our lives. There's no doubt about it. Trump is the federal government, okay? So the federal government, we do pay taxes to them and everything else and blah, blah, blah. But the state affects us more. We live here. Okay, our property taxes don't go to Trump. They go to Pritzker
Right.
in the state, in the county. And it's really messed up, man. Our property taxes for what we get are way too high. Way too high. Come on, man. If I could get the same... My house in Indiana would be about $800 a year in property taxes.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's like, wait a minute. I could get a $400,000 house here, or I could go get... If I have a $400,000 budget, or even a $300,000 budget, I can get almost double the house in Indiana.
Well, think
And-
about
Nope.
well, think about this. In Tennessee, I can purchase anything above 5 acres, have a home on it, have multiple buildings on it, and pay $79 a month in property tax. You don't get, not every county charges you income tax. Come on.
Right.
You know, where are we going wrong here?
Right.
The same thing in Texas.
That's what's going on around here.
Yeah, the same thing in Texas. Come on.
Well, this dude just comes up with new ways to like tax people to get more revenue into the state so they could spend more money on their bullshit. And it's getting old, man. It's getting old. It really is. It's like this gas tax is totally unnecessary. You know, he keeps saying, what happened to all this marijuana money? All this marijuana money that
it went up in smoke.
Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Because you're not talking about it. You're hiding the numbers from the people. And this was supposed to fix everything. I mean, Colorado legalized marijuana, and they have a surplus budget now, and they let everybody know we are way funded now.
And how about the Illinois State Lottery for everything for the schools? Why are we being taxed more for the schools?
Right.
Not enough people are playing the lottery.
And the tollway. Oh, the tollway was a 20-year done thing. No, it hasn't. It was 20, 40, 50, 60 years ago.
70 years ago. Yeah. 70 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, and here's the thing is, if they give up the tollway, they get federal money for the roads.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot better when you can control the amount of money you get. And here's the other one that just really got my goat today. Stamps are going up again from I think it's 78 to 82 cents.
Well, yeah, because they keep shipping it across the country to come from, Plainfield to Burbank.
Right. Well, I'm reading the article on it.
Have a nice time.
And the article was just and the post office has had financial woes for the last 10 years. And because of the windfall and the losing money for the last 10 years, they have to raise the prices. Well, wait a minute. Okay, I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. If you were losing money for 10 years, why is your leadership that's losing money still in place?
Right.
Okay? A normal company would have gotten rid of leadership and said, find leadership that can make us profitable. Why was that acceptable for the post office to keep leadership in place like that?
Well, stop sending things to Bedford Park and you'll be all right.
All, you want to start cutting some money? Start with Bedford Park, okay? Because almost 1 out of every 4 packages I get goes to Bedford Park and then ends up in Indianapolis and then ends up in Arizona and then ends up in San Diego and then comes back to Bedford Park and might finally make it to my house.
No, it goes to Arizona.
Yeah, or it'll go back to Indianapolis. It's like my packages play this hopscotch between Indianapolis and Chicago.
Dude, your
Burbank.
Packages have been to more states than I have.
Yeah,
right.
and then they come crushed. So
I've been crushed many times.
Yeah, it's a joke. So when I hear this about raising rates, I'm like, hey, how about this? How about the incompetent people you have working there? How about getting rid of them and hiring some competent people? How about that? There's a lot of things the post office needs to do before they raise rates.
I mean, I can understand how they can say that they're losing money because nobody mails shit anymore as much as they did. Hence why my old job closed down and isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't get it. And trust me, I've had my issues with Amazon, but Amazon ships a lot of things for free.
Yeah.
At a cheap price.
Yeah, you pay for it.
But not really. I mean, think about what I've purchased. I've probably saved thousands of dollars buying through Amazon and getting it shipped for free because, it's built into the price, 82 cents maybe. But realistically, if I were to have taken my car, gone to the store, purchased that, drove back home, it probably would have cost me more.
Well, you would have had to have gone to the store, picked it up, then went to Indianapolis, then went to Ohio, then came back through Michigan and back to home, and then it would have been just like Amazon.
Well, then I'd have to go to Bedford Park and back to Indianapolis.
Yeah. It's I don't trust.
So I mean, it's on that note of the free shipping thing. He buys, gets him and his family. They have Prime, and they get packages all day long, every day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I pay for Prime, and I might get something once every 2 months. So the money they're getting from me, not using it as much, is kind of leveling out to all the shit that the people like him that get packages all the time.
Right.
What are you trying to say?
Stop buying fucking cameras. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't have a camera fetish.
No.
Okay. little one.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't understand how sometimes. Well, I know on Amazon, I went to go get an oil change, and I have these little red aluminum valve stem caps on my truck.
Say through Amazon, you got an oil change?
No, I was getting an oil change, and I had to use Amazon because I get home and 2 of my caps are missing. And so I call up the guy at the oil change place, which I'm probably not going to go back to because I said, hey, man, I think when you guys were putting air in my tires, your guy forgot to put my caps back on. Can you check the floor and see if they fell off or if he put them on the bed of the truck when I pulled away? We didn't steal your caps.
Meanwhile, they're in his pocket.
What part of stealing did I say?
Didn't say you did. I said they probably got lost because you did put air in my tires, right? You checked the tire pressure, so you took the caps off. Where's the caps? They fell off. No, we didn't take them.
Okay, you didn't take them off either, right?
So I said, can you do me a favor, just humor me and check the floor? So he puts the phone down or whatever, and a couple seconds later he comes back. He's like, no, there's nothing here. I said, all right, cool, man. He's like, well, if you want, I'll pay for them. I said, no, they're like $3. Okay, dude, it's fine. I'm a little miffed that your guy was careless, and I let him know that. I said, your guy was careless. That's bullshit. But, it's all right. So I ordered the cap. Now they were like $3, right, through Amazon Prime.
Hold on. I can imagine this guy going, okay, hold on. And you can hear him go with the phone, and then he's standing at the counter going.
Exactly.
Nope, didn't see him.
Yeah.
Like he was just pounding, making foot.
Exactly. And right now they're probably on his kid's bicycle.
Or his motorcycle.
Yeah. So anyway, they're like $3 and next morning delivery. Right. I was shocked. I'm like, how is that even profitable for Amazon to do that? But I don't care. I got my caps and I replaced them all and they look nice now again. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how Amazon does that. And how can Amazon do all these deliveries, but the USPS can't do anything right lately, and they got to raise their rates? Oh, we got to raise our rates. No, how about be more? How about we say no? No, we're not going to raise rates. We're not going to let you do that.
Well, you can raise them, just don't use them.
Right, we're just not going to use you. We're going to figure out another way to do it. And you know what? That's what needs to happen. If UPS, DHL, Denny Hamlin Company, FedEx, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Denny does not own FedEx.
I don't even know like the FedEx name. I know Denny Hamlin is FedEx to me. NASCAR, you see, sponsorship does great things.
Denny Hamlin's packaging service.
Yeah, exactly. The Denny Hamlin.
He owns insurance too.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, Progressive.
So, you companies, DHL, FedEx, Denny Hamlin Company, UPS, crush the United States Postal Service. Lower your rates for like 3 months and get all the customers, and then start a letter service. Put them under.
The only thing I get in the letters anymore is just bills or coupons.
Right. And your bills don't even want to use USPS anymore. They're like, if you sign up for electronic delivery.
My bank does the same thing.
Which I'm like,
every month they ask me.
Well, you know what? And here's the funny thing. One of my banks was like, they kept pounding me for months. Sign up for electronic delivery. Finally, they were like, we're sick and tired of your bullshit. So if you keep getting paid, you're going to have to pay $2 a month for us to deliver your statements. And I'm like, I called them up. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. You're holding on to my money. You're paying me literally 16 cents a year in interest. And you're telling me you're going to charge me to deliver my statements? Fuck you! I'm taking my money out. Like, oh no! We'll rescind that and refund that. That's fine. I'm like,
we tried that statement.
Banks are another thing. It's like they're not your friend. They are truly not your friend. They make a lot of money off people and don't share the wealth at all.
No, and
that's why I just don't have any money.
Case in point, safe deposit box, right? The bill is usually due in December, and December this year was a rough month, and just mentally and stuff. And I never got the bill. I never got the bill for the safe deposit box. Well, back in like May or April, late April, early May, I get a bill with a late fee, and I'm like, I never got the original bill. So I went down there and I paid it because I'm like, obviously, I must have missed it. I don't know what happened, but I asked Karen, and I'm like, did you see a bill for the safe deposit box? She's like, no. I'm like, interesting. So I went down there, and I said, can I speak to a banker? I said, here's your check. I said, before we even get started on this, I'm paying the late fee. I don't want it credited. I was late. You're absolutely right. But let me explain something to you. I said, how much sense does this make? You charged me $15 for a late fee, okay? $15 late fee.
Wow.
Okay? I have X amount of dollars in the bank. You gave me 82 cents in interest last year. So now, technically, it has cost me money to do business with you. Now, the bank should be making money for me, right?
Right.
So your one fee, because I didn't. Now, here's the kicker. Whenever you have a credit card special, whenever you have a loan special, whenever you have a home equity line of credit, I get bombarded with emails. I get bombarded with direct mail advertisements. Why didn't you send me a notice before 4 months later that I was late on this? This didn't trigger a red flag that I've had this box for the last 28 years and I've never been late on it, and all of a sudden you don't get a payment? That didn't trigger something?
Nope.
Nope, not at all, because they don't give a shit about you as a customer.
And I bet you any money they had a problem waiving the fee.
Oh, no, you know what? They actually waived the fee after I demanded that they didn't, because I said on principle alone, I want you to know I'm not looking for something for nothing. I just want you to realize what a bullshit policy this is and how you just hurt a longtime customer. So when I do walk in here one day and say close my accounts, you know why.
Speaking of being ripped off, I had made a promise to a company that I am not going to remain nameless, Wondershare, Filmora, Wondershare. I bought an editing, well, no, let me start that again. I downloaded an editing app or whatever you want for video editing, and I clicked on a bunch of things that I thought were cool for splits and, swipes and all this other good stuff. And I processed my whole video. I pushed a button to export, and in order for them to remove the watermark, I had to pay for their service. Okay, now they do have the free things, all three of them. Glitch was one of them. Oh boy, okay. And so I said, you know what? Okay, I'll drop some coin for this, and it wasn't some coin. It was $57 with $2 off because they were feeling generous. So I do this. I got absolutely nothing more than what I originally had.
The watermark taken off.
Yeah, except for the watermark being removed. Didn't realize this, so I used the same ones again that I used originally. It said, in order to use these, you have to pay an additional $8. Excuse me? I just paid $59 for something that, here's the best thing, I downloaded DaVinci Resolve. I used DaVinci Resolve for free and got all of those neat little swipes and everything that I wanted to use for free through DaVinci Resolve.
How much did you pay for that?
Free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was free $1, free dollary. It was free.
$3.
$3.
Yeah, Wondershare.
Where's my $3?
So I contacted Wondershare and said, listen, I'd like to get my 30-day refund back, and their policy is if I used any of their equipment,
This makes no sense
I
whatsoever.
cannot get the refund back. First of all, I did use it, but I never exported my video. So, in other words, when that came up, I went, oh, don't want that, and didn't want to pay for this, and didn't want to pay for that, and got rid of it. So I never exported it. All I did was put it together on their site, never exported that video, and they said, nope, you used our equipment, and now you have to pay. Well, it was a subscription for $59 a year, so I canceled my subscription. I'm still stuck for the $59. They refused to give me a refund because I am not happy with their stuff, which they say they have a 30-day refund, full refund, 30-day. Yeah, okay, as long as you don't use it. Well, first of all, how do I know that I don't like it if I don't use it? Scam number one.
Yeah, well, what you got to do now is you got to go on their Facebook page, on their Instagram, on their Twitter, and blast them.
Oh, I'm doing it right now, and I plan on doing it more. Wondershare Filmora is nothing but a ripoff. They're liars, they're cheaters, they're stealers. And, yeah, Wondershare Filmora, you suck again.
Dude,
You suck again.
Blows my mind.
You are horrible people.
How companies think that way. Like, how do they think that's right?
I came from the corporate world, and the corporate world is just, it's a world all its own with its own rationale of thinking that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
And I'm sure there's something in the fine print that if you tried to sue them for the $58, that they would get away with it.
Oh, it would just, they know everybody's not going to do that because it isn't worth to go to small claims court.
Right.
But here's the thing. DaVinci Resolve, professional companies use DaVinci Resolve. News, movies, everybody uses DaVinci Resolve. My dumbass said, oh, I'll try Wondershare, and I got Wondershared all right.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to light them up on. The only thing a corporation realizes is when you start, they recognize lawsuits. Lawsuits is number one. That's the number one thing that scares a corporation because that means that they have to spend money. And that means that their legal team has to actually do some work. And if you know what you're doing and you know how to sue, you're going to cost them. And they know at that point that it's going to cost them money. So they hate lawsuits. The other thing they hate is when people start talking shit about them online because once Mike goes onto their Instagram and posts some bullshit about them, 50 people are going to follow that have had bad experiences. And eventually their reputation starts taking a beating. And then the more their reputation takes a beating, the less income stream they have and the less revenue they have. You have to hit a corporation in the money. The only thing they care about is money. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about ethics. They don't care about anything. They care about money. And you hit them in the wallet. And that's how you hurt a corporation.
Well, the thing is with that is they had I didn't even want their advertisement coming over my email. So I did the unsubscribe. Sorry to see you go. Can you leave a little bit of information as to why? Oh, boy, yes, I did. I let them know.
Nope, I'm going to leave you a lot.
You got to go on Google. You got to do a Google review. Companies hate when they get negative Google reviews because it hurts their search engine. Mm-hmm. So, you go out there and you hit them with a Google review and let them know. And be honest, you know what I mean? Because Google will pull fraudulent reviews. You be honest and have the documentation if they contact you, because the first thing they're going to do is say, we don't have this customer in our database. Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, first of all, they have me in their database because I paid.
Right. Well, that's the cookie cutter excuse.
And not only that, but they don't even let you know what's free and what isn't. They have a little diamond on the stuff that you can't, or that you that is cost extra.
Man, I worked with a guy who was a regurgitating corporate talking head for a year and a half, 2 years, and maybe like 2 years, and it was the corporate bullshit that would spew out of this guy's mouth was just it was like stale vomit.
Yeah,
literally, and it was just like, wow, man, you really do live in that corporate Eiffel Tower and have never had real world experience dealing with a human, have you?
Yeah, and that's and that, like I said,
the metric says.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my God.
The metric says.
Get it every day at work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The like I said, DaVinci Resolve. I even used Clip something or another. I can't think of the name, but if I can, I will let you know. Clip, whatever. You guys are awesome. DaVinci Resolve, even more awesome. And I got better results out of DaVinci than I did get out of Wondershare. Every time I use Wondershare, because I'm paid for it, I'm going to try to use it, but I can't do anything. I have not been able to export any video that I have ever created out of there without having a problem.
Yeah. See, I prefer now. I try to do business with smaller companies. Like I started doing a little business with Dr. Squatch, like their soaps. They're a little smaller company. They're not like a Dove or a Old Spice or.
Did you buy the flask?
No, I want to though. That is so cool. But it's like I got flasks. I got plenty of flasks.
The commercials are awesome.
Yeah, the commercials are very cool. I really do want the flask. But
he's like, hey, use this deodorant. I just got it. Oh, okay, thanks. And he opens it up and what the hell? Oh, it's a flask. And then he gets hammered, and then he stinks.
Yep.
And he forgot to use the
But there's a company, now that we've talked bad about certain companies that do bad things, there's a company that I do business with called Badger Claw Outfitters. And it's a guy who makes EDC stuff. He makes knife sheaths. He makes gun leather, bags. He does EDC bags, all kind of stuff. Well, he sends out an email like 4th of July weekend, a 20% off sale. And everything in the store, 4th of July, 20% off sale. American company and made in America, doing a big sale. So I'm like, oh, wow, let's see what he's got. So I'm looking. And then he has another special on one of these EDC bags, and it was Vietnam striped camo. And I like Vietnam tiger striped camo. So I'm like, yeah, that would be a cool little bag. If the price is right, I might just get it. Price was right, so I threw it in a cart. So then he has these really cool heavy-duty like keychain lanyard things, that go on your belt. And the price was really right with 20% off. And I'm like, yeah, you can't buy like a good, like a cheap, shitty Chinese-made keychain for this kind of money. And this is American-made quality leather, the whole shot. I threw it in the cart. Well, then he had these things. They're called P38 can openers. You guys ever hear of these? The little can openers? Well, it was sold out. So he's got the little thing on his website, message him, blah, blah, blah. So I just sent a message. I'm like, I'm in no hurry to buy anything. So I'll just send him a message. So I'm like, hey, man, I was on your website. I go, are you going to be restocking the P38 can openers anytime soon? Well, I'm sitting there, going through looking at some other stuff. All of a sudden, it's like, ding. He replies back. He's like, I didn't realize I was sold out. He's like, let me check the website real quick. And he's like, I know I have a package of those somewhere. He goes, hold tight just for a second, please. And I'm like, wow, this guy got back to me like instantly. And he's probably running around his warehouse on 4th of July weekend looking for this little can opener, and they're little about this big,
Right.
So he replies back. He's like, oh, I updated it. I found them. I fixed the website for you. I'm like, oh, shit, now I got to buy them. I'm like, I don't know if that was a sales tactic or customer service, but actually, I've dealt with this guy before. One of the knives I carry is a T-Cal, and T-Cal makes really good Kydex sheaths, but sometimes you just want leather. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you want a good leather sheath for your knife. And this one model, it's really hard because it's a Warncliffe blade. It's hard to get a good sheath for it because it goes right through the end, One of the few sheath makers, there's two sheath makers out there that I trust. Badger Claw and Delta. Delta Sheath and Badger Claw are probably the two best. The best customer service ever. If you got a question, these guys are like right on it. They're like, hey, they answer you within 24 hours. Badger Claw, like within 10 minutes, I had a complete resolution. So I just got my package yesterday. And, once again.
California.
No, is he in Texas, I think? I think Badger Claw's in Texas.
I'm sure that package went to California.
Yeah, probably did. But yeah, it was, it was a great customer service experience. And T-Cal knives, I mean, a lot of people kind of either love them or hate them because their knives you wait a long time when you order a knife because he sells them before they're actually in production. So you're waiting sometimes. I waited almost a year for a knife. The batch got screwed up. But this is the kind of guy Tim Kell is, the guy who owns the place, who I've spoke to many times, and I've dealt with his daughter, China, who runs all their customer service. He will not sell a knife. If it doesn't meet his standards, he will trash the entire batch. He lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because he was doing business with somebody who was doing his die cuts or whatever for the knives and screwed them up royally. And he wouldn't sell them. He will sell some of them as blems if they meet his standards, but he's got impeccable standards. So I waited like a year for this knife, and it was kind of funny because I emailed him at one point, and I said, hey, any word when this is coming out? Because I know people are starting to get theirs. I'm seeing them online that they're starting to ship. Is mine being held up because there's a G10 shortage for the grips? I go, if that's the case, just switch me to Battle Lock. And it's a type of grip. And she's like, oh no, you're it's in the order received, and you should be shipping probably within the next 2 weeks. You should be getting yours. And she's like, but do you want to switch to the Battle Locks? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do actually, because they're kind of cool. She switched me. I had my stuff 2 weeks. China at T-Cal Knives, awesome customer service. Dude from Badger Claw, I don't know his name, awesome customer service. Delta Sheath, the guy who runs that company, ridiculously awesome customer service, and all of these companies, super high quality American made products, you know. So when we're talking about America 250 and like manufacturing in America, that's good stuff. And the other company I want to give a shout out to, ProTech knives. Man, they did a 4th of July or America 250 knife, commemorative knife. That is just, it is a piece of art. It is literally a work of art. I'll be reviewing it on my knife channel. But yeah, it is just gorgeous. And I got lucky and got one through the ProTech Enthusiasts Club. And it's just, I mean, once again, their customer service, I had a problem with a knife. I called them. I spoke to the owner. The owner picked up the phone.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in corporate.
I like recognized the voice from like the YouTube videos. And God, I forget his name. It's in the tip of my tongue. But he's the owner of ProTech Knives. And they always do like interviews with him at like knife shows and conventions and stuff. And so, you know, I was asking him questions and I'm like, hey, is this problem typical? And he like went into total detail with me with the answer. And then he said, you know, he goes, I'm the actual owner here. He goes, you know, and he goes, we're a small batch company. We take pride in what we do. Quality is everything to us. And I'm like, you are the owner. I'm like, I recognize the voice from the YouTube videos. I'm like, hey man, it's really cool to meet you. And then I asked him, I'm like, hey, would you want to be on our podcast soon? He's like, give me a call. He goes, you know, yeah. He goes, if I have the time, he goes, I love doing those. So, you know, we might have him on here.
Oh, that would be good.
But, and this other girl, Jennifer Winslow, who I dealt with my return problem and warranty issue, talk about just keeping up and like servicing a customer, impeccable service. I mean, ProTech, once again, big shout out to them too, you know.
Oh, I'd like to give out give a shout out to my son's company, Banshee Defense. You know, and I don't have to do business with him because he's my son, but I have seen him time and time again bend over backwards for somebody. He'll get an order, and you know the person doesn't even request, but when he gets orders that day, he sends them out that day. He will make a late run to the post office with orders just to appease his shipping. Plus, if he has an issue, he accepts the returns, and you know he does it gracefully, and you know he thanks them for their business and this, that, and the other. And you know you don't get that today. You don't get it, and I'm glad to see he's, you know, not of the he's of that era, but he's not part of their, you know, I don't know, their mainstream.
Well, he's always been that way, even when he had
Ducky and Co. Yeah, he's
little
very
letters
proud.
And you know the handwritten notes and all the other extra frilly things that he would put in the packages and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
goes a long way.
Well, you know, I still want him to resurrect Ducky and Co. Man, that was some good stuff, man.
Yeah, I've mentioned a few times, and there's, you know, maybe he's gonna play with the idea. You know, the more we bring it up, maybe he will.
Dude, he can do a collab and have like the Banshee riding the duck.
Now that would be an interesting thing. I'm gonna bring that up to him. Yeah, that would be cool.
There is a guy.
Dude, ducks are like in now because all the Jeep people are
my old
retarded
my
and
old
like
company
ducks for
jumped
some
on
reason.
that bandwagon. We used to give away little ducks, and it's funny now because I tell people throw that shit in the garbage.
Why?
I'm like, I'll give you a new duck. I'll go to the dollar store and get you a new duck.
What is it?
My old company, who shall remain nameless, adapted the duck in one of their TV commercials. So then the franchise I belong to, they went nuts with the ducks, and they got little branded ducks with their little logo and their little company name on them and stuff.
But I mean the Jeep fetish with ducks.
You know, Subaru does little cows. They do Moo Moo
Really?
Subaru. Yeah, it's Moo Moo Subaru.
Odd.
Jeep does ducks. Somebody else, but there's a company that Devin might want to look into that does all kind of ducks and Bigfoots. He 3D prints them. He might want to do a collab, and I'm telling you, I think Banshee Defense is at that point now where they're big enough where he could reach out to a company like ProTech and do like a Banshee Defense version of like a TR3 or an Avalon or, you know, one of their knives to do a Banshee Defense. There's companies that do it that you know reach out. Vulcan just did a big collab with. They put out 3 knives with ProTech. Trigicon just did a collab with ProTech. Yeah, he should really look into that. And being that, like his colors with the purple and everything, ProTech does a wicked purple anodization, and so does TCal.
Okay.
I mean, TCal might be something he might want to look into or start talking to these people and say, hey, can we do a collab?
Yeah, I mean, he's usually up for any type of sales tactic.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need he doesn't do very much. He doesn't do any advertising, as far as I know. I mean, other than his website.
He does social media, word of mouth.
Yeah. But I mean, there's no commercials. There's no,
except on here.
Except for us, and none of actually. I don't know if there's any actual plugs that we've actually put out yet of Banshee Defense. Everything was pre us making drops.
Yeah.
So I think, Ed, you need to do a Banshee Defense commercial.
Well, Banshee Defense for all your firearm needs. Anything from slings, optics, bolts. I'm not familiar. I'm a gun guy to a certain point, but Banshee Defense takes guns to a whole nother level. Devin is, you got gun questions? Reach out to Devin. If he can't figure it out, he'll get you the answer for sure. But he does these coated bolt carriers for your AR, receivers, uppers, lowers, sights, flash suppressors, slings. I mean, all kind of stuff. If you go to the Banshee Defense website, it is bansheedefense.com. It is really got some cool stuff on it. You could actually browse around and have fun, especially if you're a gun guy.
And the CEO would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep. And Panzer, the CEO, would definitely appreciate it.
Send him a treat.
You got to keep
More
Panzer.
treats.
Panzer needs his treats, man. Panzer loves treats. So, but yeah, man, it's and yeah, I've known like Devin since he was a very young child, and what he's built with his companies is really remarkable. I mean, that kid's going to do some great things, and it's always a pleasure to talk to him. This is a company, another American company. I think the majority of Devin's products are American-made products as well. He's a very patriotic kid, supports military, supports law enforcement. I think he does have military and law enforcement discounts. So if you are a first responder, ex-military, check out Banshee Defense for your shooting hobbyist needs.
The thing is, he actually does government contracts. He'll do it. He'll do any contract, but he actually, he supplies to several law enforcement agencies. So yeah, I mean, I'm amazed. Yeah, he's my son, but I am amazed. I mean, it's like, man, I got this guy living in my house.
Yep.
It's time to go.
You finally have a job now, so
yeah, rent is coming. But yeah,
and electricity with your 5 air conditioners you have in your room.
Yeah. No, he impresses me, and he's got that skill. So God bless him. But I just want to talk about one more thing before we get out of here. My cousin that I went to visit, one of my cousins that I went to visit, did a Route 66 trip.
Nice.
From here to California, and he took pictures all along the way of every state and everything that he was in, add little music to it. I looked at it on Instagram. Wow. I knew about Route 66, how they take care of things. I got news for you. I was very impressed with just about every place that he had stayed at for the evening. Even places that he didn't stay at for the evening were beautiful to look at. When we're coming to these trips, it's time to get back to driving or taking a train. I'm not trying to pump up Amtrak or whatever.
Train would be cool.
Yeah, doing the train or just driving. He took a month and drove across the country. Now, not everybody can do that, but you can take short road trips and enjoy the country that we live in. It's only 250 years old as a country, but as a continent, there's several thousands of years, and they have pictures of the Grand Canyon. They've got pictures of just about every open space out there.
Badlands.
that's not on the route of 66.
Badlands, gotta go.
But you do a road trip, even if it isn't Route 66. Go to the Badlands.
Dude, you know, that's the thing, man. I grew up, my dad drove everywhere. My dad loved to drive. So our vacations were, the only time he didn't drive was when we went to Florida. That was it. We flew to Florida. But, and then we we did drive once. We did drive once to Florida.
So did I, and I will never do it again.
We drove several times.
Twice, yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you what type of trip we took to Florida. We loaded up the Volkswagen Bug.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute now. It gets better.
I'm just laughing and picturing you in a bug.
Yeah. Shut up, stupid. So, I was probably around 5, maybe 4 or 5 years old.
That makes sense.
No, it doesn't, because I didn't fit then. Now, have you met my father?
He's like 6'4".
Who, me? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you know the size
Yeah, he
of
was
my
like
father.
a live tree.
He was
Right.
a strapping young lad.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was like a redwood.
Yeah. So now imagine this. He has a Volkswagen Bug in the late 70s, and he takes out all the seats but the driver's seat. He hated seats in that thing because he could store more shit in there without the seats in there. So he loads my brother and myself up. He makes the back of it almost like a bed. And it was like a bed. And he takes off. We go down to Florida. Now we're driving through every state that it takes to get to Florida. And as we hit the border into Florida, the motor blows up. Okay? Now,
Jesus.
you would think that that's a bad thing. It turned out to be one of the best trips ever.
Because it traded it in for a real car?
No. I don't know how he did this. Now, this is before internet was even a thought. Okay? It was roughly just after I was a thought. Okay? He pulls into this Volkswagen mechanics place. Okay? A mom and pop shop.
Gets a new rubber band for the engine.
I'm telling you what. You listen to what I'm going to tell you.
His dad knows the guy.
The wife pushes the car up to the garage door. The wife. She's unbolting and unwiring everything.
And unwinding.
And unwinding. She pushes the Volkswagen into the garage. The old man takes the hoist, hooks up the engine to it, pulls the motor out. The wife pushes the car forward, drops an engine that's on the hoist into the car. The meantime, the old man is taking that over to a table, sliding it onto the table, unchaining it, and starts taking it apart. In the meantime, she's already bolted the new motor in and is rewiring everything. 45 minutes, a brand new motor in that car, a brand new rebuilt motor.
Faster than McDonald's.
In that car.
Wow.
And off we went. Okay?
That's crazy.
2 people.
How much did that cost?
You know what?
Or was it just like a trade-in? Here's my bullshit one. You fix this, give me a new one.
Well, yeah, because
I
guess because you're leaving the motor and he just rebuilds them, it was far cheaper for them, It might have only
go to a Volkswagen dealer, of course.
Yeah, but the thing never had a problem after that until my dad got smashed by the train by your house.
Really?
Yeah.
The American way.
The train tracks there?
Yeah.
My dad was...
The Metro or the other ones?
I don't know what goes over those tracks.
Both.
Okay.
Oh,
no,
really?
I'm talking about on 107th Street.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, those are Metro.
Okay. My dad was sitting there waiting for a train, and a drunk hit him, and the Volkswagen was 3.5 feet wide at the end of the accident.
Wow.
And my dad was 6'1".
He seemed a lot taller because he was taller than me, and I'm 6'1".
No, he was 6'1".
Yeah, he reminded me like Lou said, he was a redwood tree. He was the kind of guy, man, that he was intimidating.
Dude, I remember the first time I met him, he was walking up the driveway, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? And me and Mike were fairly new friends, kind of, so I didn't know like everybody, right? he comes walking up, and Mike introduces me, and I shake his hand, and then my hand disappeared.
Yep.
And it was literally, he like grabbed my hand, and it was like he was like shaking a stump.
Yeah, he was just shaking.
I'm like,
shaking
oh
up to the
shit.
elbow.
Like my uncle had big hands, but his were like catcher's mitts.
Yeah. And people say I have big hands. I'm like, oh no, I don't. Put them next to my father's. Well, that was another funny story when my dad. It's funny, but it's not. My dad had brain cancer, and they went in for surgery to remove the tumor. And after surgery, which was rather quick actually, I was kind of surprised. They were making sure everything was working all right, make sure they didn't screw something up, and they were doing range of motion with my dad. And my dad was one of those people that followed instructions to the T.
Military.
Yes.
Yep.
He followed what you said, he did. So this big, burly nurse comes in, male nurse, comes in and says, Ed, I'm going to do the range of motion with you, And he does the legs and the feet and the, hands and everything. So the guy says to my dad, he says, Ed, he says, I'm going to take each hand, and I want you to squeeze my hands as hard as you can.
That's a mistake.
He says, when I tell you, I want you to squeeze my hands as hard as you can. And I just did a hand signal because my dad's eyes weren't open yet. He was still knocked out from all the anesthesia and everything else. So I did the, hey, time out, big boy. I said, let me talk to you in the hallway. So I went out in the hallway. I said, you don't understand. I said, I know he's sedated. I said, but if you tell my father to squeeze your hands, I said, you're going to be hurting. I said, just, tell him.
Winnie men have a history of hurting hospital personnel. We'll leave that there.
I said, you don't understand. I said, he's all he's done for his whole life is work with his hands. Oh, no, he's so sedated, it'll knock an elephant down. I said, I'm telling you for the last time, do not ask my dad to squeeze your hands as hard as he can. He goes, no, he's so sedated he won't be able to do it. Okay, no problem. I said, my man, have a good day.
Yeah, man, I tried.
Yep, we went in, and I looked at my dad, and he, like I said, his eyes still were not open. I said, Dad, listen to the nurse. And my dad just gave me a wink, or not a wink, but like a slight head nod. And I went, oh, this is going to be good. So now this nurse was at least 6'3", 6'4". He had to have been close to 350 pounds. Okay, just a big person. He says, okay, Ed, when I tell you, squeeze my hands. Yep, Dad, go ahead. On the count of 3, squeeze as hard as you can. 1, 2, let go, let go, let go. And I'm going, Dad, you can let him go now. The man was literally in tears.
Oh, yeah.
Literally in tears. Yeah. And I just stood back and laughed. He goes, wow, I couldn't have been more wrong. I said, I tried to warn you.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. I was like, ta-da, and for your next trick. I mean, this guy hit the ground with his knees and everything else. So.
Oh, yeah. Your dad was a powerful man. He was a powerful, powerful man.
I mean, the man picked up telephone poles for his living.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he did.
By himself.
Yeah. He was like old school, like just, yeah. He was a very unique individual in all good ways. All good ways. A gentleman, a true gentleman, too. That actually challenged you as a man to be a better gentleman. You know what I mean? He just had that whole air about him like that. He was just a good dude. Really good guy.
Yeah, watching that man think was something else, though.
Yeah.
I mean, not only was he just burly, but he was intelligent.
Yep.
Just unbelievable. But anyway, so, gentlemen, I think that's going to call... Where? What?
Huh?
That's going to... I guess that's going to be an evening.
Yep. So, please hit the like, share, subscribe. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. We like doing this.
Watch the Not Ghost Host podcast.
Yep.
On the same
drops on Wednesdays.
And this drops on Fridays. And so, yeah, we're on all the major and minor platforms. Check us out. Please check us out on all those platforms. Like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever they tell you to do.
Tickle us.
Do it. No, don't do it. I don't like to be tickled.
Anyways, yeah, make sure you guys leave comments because, we only...
Nice comments.
We think we're, superstars, but we don't know if we are doing this right.
Superstar.
Well,
I was at
I
one
think
time.
we're stupid stars.
Also, too, we love talking about what you guys want to talk about. So, we can only talk about knives, guns, racing, booty, so much.
We haven't talked too much about booty.
No.
Nah, we keep it a family show, kind of, sort of, like.
Maybe.
Fuck that.
Outside. Shut up.
Sorry.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Happy
night.
America 250. We will we'll put that topic to bed, but I hope everybody had a good America 250.
I hope we do. It's like the fourth time already.
Well, you know what? It was special.
Well,
it was special. The America 250 is special.
It seemed
Yeah, but it was
like
only
another
special once.
4th of July.
Yep.
Tomorrow. Next year will be 251.
251.
Big.
Oh,
251.
grab 7 billion fireworks for 751. Peace.
Doses.
Excuse me.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Oh.